Zone 2 is making you weak. Do you hear that? Do you get it in your Sunday ride, your Saturday ride? Do you get it in your group line chat? Hey, look, I used to think this myself. Way back when I was 18 and 19, something or other. Roll up into my first sports science lab, do my first test, and then the coach says, hey Scott, now you've got to ride soft. Ride soft? I got to ride hard to keep up with all them. I'm not riding soft. I'm a man. Yeah, bullshit, okay? And Zone 2 is not something new. It hasn't been around for a few years, it's been around forever, okay? And in this video, I'm gonna show you how to create a protocol, 4 steps of testing and training that will open up your eyes to the wonderful beauty of what you can achieve. Because if you want to ride fast, if you want to ride faster than you've ever ridden before, you gotta get this right. Oh, and by the way, I'm gonna give you a 5th point, but only some of you will be strong enough to do this. Let's get into this protocol. You're gonna love it. And hang around to the end if you think you're brave enough to do point 5. Let's start with the protocol and give you step 1. Step 1's easy. You're going to test your FTP so you create your Zone 2 range. Now you may have already done that and you've got your range of numbers, bottom and upper. Now look, word of warning, whatever your FTP test shows up, the number, you've got to make sure you validate that number. And the easiest way to do that is to ride at 40 minutes at 85% of your FTP number. If you can complete that, your FTP is okay. If you can't complete 40 minutes at 85%, your FTP is too high. And that's gonna offset everything. And it's easily done because if you're a fast twitch fiber athlete, boom, okay? You pour out greater power, more of an anaerobic response. So we need to dial in that FTP. If you can't complete the 40 minutes, I would lower your FTP by 5 to 10 watts to make sure we've got accurate numbers. It'll all make sense in a second, okay? So you've got test number 1 done, tick. You want to use heart rate as well? I would. So you do your 20-minute FTP standard test. You can use that 20-minute average, but I like to go a little bit deeper and just use 0.95. So take your number, let's say the average was 160, multiply it by 0.95, because this keeps it a little bit lower, because trust me, it's better to be lower than it is higher when we're developing our Zone 2. So you've got that number, and what you're going to do is create a score between 69% and 83% of that FTHR, okay? Your threshold heart rate for that 20 minutes. Dial that in, record it, get it on your training plan, wherever you're using it, okay, or wherever you're storing it, whether it be a notepad, your phone, computer, get it written down. Ready? We move on to step number 2. And this is what I call the blind ride. No, we're not gonna ride and do some Jedi Master thing. The Force is, okay, no, sorry, stop that now. No, what we're gonna do is you're gonna create your computer screen. Now you need to do this for over 1 hour. You're gonna take your computer screen and you're gonna swipe right. You know, like you do on Tinder. Swipe right. Not joking. But you're just gonna create time of day or distance so you can see. But behind, you're gonna be recording your power, your heart rate, all these things, but you're not gonna see them. No, you're gonna become Zen-like and you're gonna ride on feel, okay? What does it feel like? Because you're gonna dial in that RPE 5 to 6. You're breathing. I can have a conversation, okay? As if I'm doing a speech as best man at a wedding. I'm nervous, but I'm able to talk. Not like what I'm doing now, rabbit, 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 fast speed, okay? Focused talking. So you do that for an hour. You finish, you've got the data, you upload it to whatever platform you use, and you look, and you're either surprised, oh my God, I'm way out, or hey, I'm pretty close. You're inside Zone 2, both in power and heart rate, or you're a little bit out. And you need to dial that feel in, because trust me, when all the training rides are added up, it's the feel that's more important, okay? Your heart rate will help you, but there's problems with that in terms of drift and temperature. Your power will help you, but there's problems with that as well. The feel. Because remember, what the fuck is Zone 2 anyway, coach? It is that metabolic response, your mitochondria. Your mitochondria is supplying fuel, the metabolic response, how well you use fuel. Remember, patient arrives at hospital, not very well, little bit overweight, a lot overweight, coach, you're just being polite. A lot overweight, okay? And the doctor says, you're pre-diabetic, Bob. Really? The lactic acid is through the roof. But I've not been exercising. You don't need to, because your mitochondria is shit. It hasn't been trained the way that you're doing it with your Zone 2. Okay? And that means when lactic acid does arrive at the party, yeah, your mitochondria is the greatest doorman, the greatest security guard in the world. Vroom, it flushes it out so you can ride faster. Faster than any damn bitch out there. Sorry, I don't know where that came from, but you know what I mean. Speed, okay? So, blind ride. You dial that in, and I would have you do a blind ride at least once a fortnight. And of course you can do them indoors. You just cover up those metrics that you don't want to see, power and heart rate. Okay, number 3, the fixed test. What you do is you take your Zone 2 range and you go boom, right in the middle. bullseye. You pick the middle and you ride at that. Again, you need an hour minimum. An hour minimum. But whatever time you use, try and repeat it for every test. You can do it indoors, you can do it outdoors. Stay in the middle. Whatever's easiest for you to do it in whatever environment, stay in the middle and see what the metrics are. What happens to your heart rate in the middle? What happens to your RPE in the middle? Because trust me, in all the lab tests I've done, the middle is the closest to your LT.1. Trust me. Okay? It's the closest to it. Your ego is sending you to the top, okay? But the middle is best, okay? So stick in the middle, try that test. And then you've got the metrics, and then you can play around with this. One day you do a blind ride, then you go back to the middle, and you're always constantly engaging cognitively. Number 4, you ready? We do the stretch test. You take your zone 2, and you go to the top end. What's the top end? Not the middle, you go to the biggest number at the top. You can round it up if you want, and you're gonna ride for the same time that you did the other test, an hour, let's say, and you go for it. But coach, my heart rate's gonna drift. Of course it is, I want it to. I want it to go right out of zone 2. But here's the beautiful thing. Once we actually download the workout, and we then come to assess it, you look at what point did your heart rate drift out? At what point, okay, did it plateau if it did, or did it just keep rising? Start to create a baseline of, let's say, where was it in 20, 40, 60 minutes if you did an hour? You can break it down even further. It went through zone 2 in 47 minutes. Great, you're gonna come back to this, maybe even next week, or maybe in 4 weeks, and you're gonna test this. Okay? This is really important because it's going to give you that confidence to dial into the middle and extend your zone 2. Remember, you're not going to move that LT1 point. You're going to change the adaptation, the absorption of all the shit that's building up, the hydrogen ions. Yeah, you're going to become more resistant. That is fitness. Resistance to fatigue. You're going to improve your metabolic response. You're going to be dancing at lactic acid. Hey, lactic acid, get out my cell. That's catchy. Okay, right, anyway, but you got to have the mindset. You got to have the focus. Yeah, you got to be really up for it. I can hear you. Give me number 5, coach, I'm ready. You want to do the stretch? You take a power to weight score. You take a power to weight score that's really challenging, that you want to dial into your zone 2. Maybe it's 2 watts per kilogram. Maybe it's like many of my clients who go to 3 watts per kilogram, because motion is medicine and you're cycling, but staying light and mobile, that's the key to longevity. Yeah, that's the key to dancing until you're 80, 90, 100, and dancing on your bike. So make that stretch target. Not everybody can do it because you'll start making excuses.
Oh, my weight needs a little bit of addressing before I do that.
Why wait? What are you waiting for? Life's a one-way ticket, folks. A one-way ticket. The only off-season is when you're fucking dead. And who's waiting for that? Yeah? It's going to happen anyway. So you would set 2.5, 3 watts per kilogram. That's going to really drift the heart rate, isn't it? But you can come back to that because the confidence it builds as you get closer to that. And it's a much better test than just testing your FTP all the time. It works, folk. Okay? It works, right? Anyway, look, I know this is a short time and I speak really fast, but do you want to spend longer with me? Over the last 30 years, I have seen 5 common mistakes that most cyclists make, and I've put them into a little audio book that's free for you. You can download this and you can carry on your journey pain-free because I'm a bike fitter, motivate your fitness because I'm a coach, but ultimately stay on the path that you're on to success, both physically and mentally. You take care, keep spinning, keep smiling. Subscribe to the channel if you want success. I'll see you soon.